Hello everyone, happy Halloween. Got a few things to cover here. First of which is Undertaker Freak 1127 and myself created a gaming channel. Now, I know what you're saying, oh my god, aren't you against gaming channels? We're not making it for money. We're making it for sheer entertainment, for our sheer expertise. Well, for my expertise. Because I want to share with you gaming knowledge, life knowledge, just, learn a few things just by watching a video that I'm part of. And then there's the other stuff that you'll hear when Undertaker Freak decides to open his mouth. But anyway, the link for the channel and the name of the channel is called TakerFiendGaming. He sabotaged me with the name of this, but we get into it in the videos. Anyways, the link for the channel is in the video description. That aside, congratulations to the San Francisco Giants for winning the World Series. And Undertaker Freak is still sad about that. Horrible, atrocious, just a utterly, to use one of Undertaker Freak's words, deplorable performance by his shitbag Detroit Tigers. You got shut out twice in a row. As Undertaker Freak said in his video, when you see something like that happen in a championship, I don't care what sport it is, you get blanked 2 times in a row by the other team, you don't even deserve to be there. And I think that's really truly what the circumstance was here, is that Detroit really, and yes, I had Detroit picked to win. In retrospect now, I see why and how they got there. They were lucky to get through that series with Oakland, and the Yankees just sucked. The Yankees just, when you're a team that bats, what was it 176 they bat as a team? Yeah, pretty much anyone's going to beat you when you do that. It's not so much stellar pitching that has to eliminate you at that point. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all I need to know about that. But we're all here for my expert football picks, right? Yeah, right. Anyway, last week I went 9-5. I went 9-4 the week before, so it's on par with what I've been doing recently. Congratulations to all of you that have bet on my superb winning picks for you guys. And just to let you know, Crixus is not here this week because he is still in a hurricane-approved shelter. We had Hurricane Sandy out here. No structural damage to my house, though the houses on both sides of me did get damaged. Lucky me. Anyway, everyone in this town pretty much has no power, except this neighborhood. Like literally, this neighborhood and the neighborhood behind me are like the only neighborhoods within numerous miles from here that have power. Like, I'm not even making that up. It's weird. We didn't even lose power for 1 second here. Okay, anyway, so I live around Philadelphia, in case you don't know. Anyway, Crixus is not going to be here today, so you're not going to see him interrupt, and you might hear Girlfiend crying in the background because her little snuggle muffin isn't around here. Anyway, starting off the picks last week, Tampa Bay versus the Minnesota Vikings. And I told you guys that Minnesota was due for a loss. And a loss they got. Tampa was primed for a win. And a win they got. 36-17. Boy, you Vikings fans just laughed at me when I said Tampa Bay was going to go into Minnesota and come out with a win. Yeah, I'm sorry. Again, Minnesota was due for a loss, and I'm one of the few people that picked Tampa to actually go in there and win, and they won convincingly. Going on to the main week here, Sunday, Chicago against Carolina. Now, this was going to be basically the coming alive for Cam Newton game, and he looked decent. He looked solid. He pretty much had the game won. It took a last-second field goal from Chicago to close this out. It was 23-22, and Cam Newton plays good in Chicago for whatever reason. Last year, like I said in my previous NFL pick video, Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers put up over 500 yards of offense. So it's a pretty decent performance from him, but again, this is a team that's just at the bottom of the barrel right now. And Cam Newton is really someone who's never really experienced this level of losing ever. So it's interesting to see how he's going to react to this, and like even some of his teammates are becoming vocal about him not reacting so nicely to this. But anyway, what is quite possibly the most utterly disappointing game in the week for so many reasons. The Cleveland Browns beat the San Diego Chargers 7-6. 7-6. Phillip Rivers had 150 passing yards. 150 passing yards against the Cleveland Brownies. And he lost. I don't even know what to say or what excuses, because I really like Phillip Rivers. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks, but when you do shit like this, it's like, wow, how can I defend him? How can I defend him for a second after a shit performance like that? Green Bay beats Jacksonville 24-15. Yeah, that's the game that's pretty much what everyone expected. Indianapolis beat Tennessee. Took to overtime for this to get done. I thought Indianapolis was going to win a bit more decisively, but Tennessee's hanging tough with a lot of teams, and they're winning a few games that most people think they shouldn't be winning. So yeah, New England went over to London and beat St. Louis 45-7. Thank God for this game, because this made sure the Eagles weren't the biggest laughing stock of the week. This was just an utterly atrocious game, and it's a shame that a foreign audience had to watch this, because they're like, wow, the blowouts like that aren't exactly fun to watch. And you could see, I guess they're at Wembley Stadium, and the place started emptying out, kind of like the Eagles game, but we'll get to that in a second. Anyway, why did I have to give the Jets an ounce of respect? Last week when I was picking these games, I wanted to go with Miami, but I was like, you know what, I picked Miami earlier in the year. I'll give the Jets enough respect to pick them to at least beat the Dolphins here. Not only did the Jets lose, but they lost against a backup quarterback. 30-9. Unfucking believable. The Jets are just such a terrible team. I don't know why they're competing with teams like the Texans one week and then shit in the bed against the Dolphins another week. It's just, god damn, I hate that team. I want to see Jesus Tebow on the field, and just I just want all hopes and dreams from New York just banished this year, because this team just pisses me off with how they show up one week and don't even come close to showing up the next week. My God. Okay, I have to get myself prepared for the next game I'm reviewing here. The Atlanta Falcons, 30 points. The Philadelphia Eagles, 17 points. All right, I'm going to go off on a little tangent, because this team deserves to go off on a little tangent. Me being a Philadelphia Eagles fan, the team deserves to hear from me, because I know they all watch this video. All right, I'm kidding myself. This game was over by the first possession of both teams. This game started off, and I'll try and keep this as concise as possible. Atlanta and Matt Ryan drive down the field in a monstrous, time-consuming first drive. Took over 8 minutes. Get a touchdown out of it. Eagles get the ball back. What did the Eagles do? Run, pass, sack. Or no, it was pass, run, sack, whatever. Who gives a shit? It was a 3-and-out. Have to punt the ball back to Atlanta. 80-plus yard drive. Another 8 minutes plus taken off of the clock. Drives down, touchdown. 14-0 Falcons. The entire first quarter is gone, and the Eagles have had the ball one time, and it's been a 3-and-out. When you see a game start like this, there is no hope for the rest of the game. This is a team that has a new defensive coordinator, and their defense looks like complete and utter shit. It looks worse than when Juan Castillo was calling the plays in the defensive end. Bowles, I mean, I know he's just, basically handed this position, but I don't necessarily blame him and the team, not taking his instruction well or whatever, but this is a team, and Ike Reese said it the best, former Eagle Ike Reese said it the best in the postgame show. This is a team that's just basically quit on Andy Reid. This team has just quit on him. They don't want to play for him. They don't want to play for a guy like Vic, and I mean, you see players like Deshaun Jackson. Like, I was gonna, blast him like in a video like this, saying, "My God, why are we paying him his extra money when we all know what a diva he is?" He's only going to play if a team is doing good. I mean, that's the type of player he is. And when he's on his game, he can beat anyone. He can burn anyone. He can bust out a 150-yard game like nobody's business. He's on a team of losers, on a team of just not going to tryhards. Jesus Christ, it's no wonder he's not doing shit. He's not going to put his ass on the line. He's got his contract. He wants to bust his ass. Why should he? He wants to be on a team where he can be in the spotlight and all this shit. And oh my God. And there's just so many things. And the only thing that I can say that could possibly salvage any sort of positivity left in the season is throw Nick Foles in there. Bench Michael Vick. It is clear that this team doesn't want to play under Andy Reid's play calling. Doesn't want to play under the players that Andy Reid wants in charge. I truly feel this team, they know they're good enough to beat anyone. And I honestly think putting Nick Foles out there will at least let us know whether or not this team is just going to absolutely shit the fucking bed or not. Because if they don't get an ounce of motivation with the last-ditch effort move by putting in a rookie quarterback, a guy who we want to know. We want to know if the yardage and the numbers that Nick Foles is putting up in the preseason are real or not. Because people soon forget he led the league in passing yards and a number of other stats in the preseason. But then again, it's just preseason ball. I'm not going to get my hopes up too high. But man, I see a lot of things that remind me of Ben Roethlisberger in him. But again, it's still preseason ball. I'll hold my judgment until I see him take a few snaps in the real time of the game. Anyways, I have no hope. I have no hope for the Eagles going anywhere. It's going to be another season where, okay, maybe they squeak into the playoffs, but even that is a pipe dream. There's not going to be a wild card coming out of the NFC East. The Giants just moved ahead another game. You got to count on the Giants losing 2 more games than anyone else in the NFC East right now. And it's just such a pipe dream. You got so many other teams locking up wild card spots that are 2 and 3 wins above the Eagles and everyone else in the NFC East right now, and it's like what's the point? They're not going to win the division. And even if they do go in the playoffs, you think this is a team that could win 3 games in a row against a playoff caliber team, possibly 4? Get the fuck out of here. The team is such a joke. Goodbye, Andy Reid. You're done this year. You're just flat out done. Goodbye, good riddance. Don't come back unless you're on San Diego and you come into Philly to play. But anyway, Pittsburgh beats the Washington Redskins 27-12. I really thought RG3 was going to show up in this game, but just when you think Pittsburgh is down and out for the count, they look like they're going to be a 500 at best football team, they pull out a win like this, a convincing win in jail jerseys, which is the best thing that would be described their jerseys this week. My God, those things were atrocious. But anyway, Pittsburgh won, made a loser out of me in that pick, but that's what Pittsburgh pretty much does to me. Every time I go against them and say they're down and out, they just seem to pop back up. The who gives a shit game of the week, the Oakland Raiders beat the Kansas City Chiefs 26-16. Who cares? The New York Giants went to the House of Eli in Dallas, Texas, and won what was an absolute heartbreaker for the Dallas Cowboys and their fans. The Giants won 29-24. The Giants blew a tremendous lead, let Dallas get back in this game, and basically the game was going to be won by the Cowboys in the final play of the game. But Des Bryant's hand literally went out of the end zone, literally about 1.5 inches. Like, that was literally the deciding factor of the game. He goes to put his hand down, his hand touches the ground first, and literally like the first digit in one of his knuckles goes out of bounds, and that's the end of the game. Out of bounds, plays, doesn't count, boom, game over. Holy shit. It sucks to be a Cowboys fan. I wish I could harp on the Dallas Cowboys being in complete misery, but yeah, it's hard to piss on another team when you're getting pissed on by the rest of the league as well. So I feel your pain, Dallas. At least you saw the shot to win the game in the final drive of the game. My team, game was over by the first quarter. I almost said the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Broncos, basketball season started tonight, forgive me. The Denver Broncos beat the New Orleans Hornets. Just kidding, the Saints. This was a game I thought Drew Brees was going to show up and represent a little harder in this one. I think he's going to do a lot more representing next week, and we'll get to that in a second. 34-14. It's safe to say Peyton Manning's back. I really underestimated the Broncos. I didn't consider them to be a playoff team, but this is a team that can not only go in the playoffs, but they have the potential to make a lot of noise in the AFC this year. That's a team that, I was like, Peyton's gonna have to take a year to find himself out. The team's gonna have to get used to him and all this other shit. But damn, that just speaks volumes about what a great quarterback Peyton is. I just wish he would do better in the postseason. But anyway, Monday Night Football. San Francisco 49ers 24, the Arizona Cardinals. See how many points they score here? 3. All you Arizona Cardinals fans that started giving me shit, you got all high and mighty when your Cardinals beat my Philadelphia Eagles. I beat them decisively. I mean, let's make no bones about it. They destroyed my Eagles, and I still picked against the Cardinals. I still didn't see them, and I said realistically they're not really that good of a team. I mean, you got a choice between Skelton and Cobb. Where are you going to go with either of those quarterbacks? I mean, let's simmer down. Now, you guys went out to a 4-0 start. How have you done since? You've lost every game since then? That's what I thought. All right, anyways, calm down over there in Cardinal country, because you guys started popping off your mouths just because you got off to a hot start, and now you're just humbled down with the rest of the mediocrity in the league. So, and that concludes the week. The hell week was this? Week 8 picks. And, of course, Buffalo, Cincinnati. Baltimore and Houston had bye weeks. Let's go on to Week 9. We're starting off with a real barn burner on Thursday. Jesus Christ, why did they make this a Thursday night game? Kansas City at San Diego. San Diego is probably coming off of the biggest abysmal performance from any NFL team thus far this year, putting up a 6th spot. Last week, and now they're going on to face the Chiefs, which are quite possibly the most singularly abysmal team in the entire league. It's at San Diego, and I don't see Philip Rivers having 2 atrocious games in a row, and Kansas City just fucking sucks. So look for the Chargers to win this one. And by the way, this week I thought these games were the easiest to pick thus far this season, so I'll probably go like 2-50, even though there's not 52 games this week, of course. Anyway, Denver at Cincinnati. Like I said in the previous predictions here, the previous week review, Peyton's back. Peyton's back, and he's going to win at Cincinnati. It's pretty much an easy decision. Baltimore at Cleveland. The Brownies savor that monstrous victory you had last week by 1 point. I still can't believe a game was decided by a score of 7-6 last week. I really can't get over that. But anyways, Baltimore is going to humble you. Baltimore has got to be very pissed about that performance they put up, and Flacco. I'm looking for him to have like a sort of redemption game, because him throwing 48% 2 weeks ago, there's no excuse for that. If he's going to sit there and call himself one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league, which by the way is a douchebag for saying that. Anyway, for Baltimore to wipe out the Brownies. Cardinals at Green Bay. Oh, Jesus Christ. Can we say 5-game losing streak? We can next week in Arizona. Anyway, Green Bay's going to win that one. Chicago at Tennessee. Chicago is on a tear. Yeah, they stuttered a little bit last week, but when they needed to take charge of that game in the 4th quarter last week, the Bears took charge. They took charge. They didn't look back. They had commanding control of that game. Cam Newton tried to hang on, couldn't do it, but Bears showed you who the real team was there. Miami at Indianapolis. this was the one game I thought was one of the tougher games to pick this week, but I think Miami's really coming into their own right now. I think Miami's really finding themselves, and Indianapolis is still trying to find themselves. And I just think Miami's just a much better defense, and that's going to be the deciding factor in this game. So look for the Dolphins to win in Indianapolis. Carolina at Washington. Cam Newton, say hello to your better version, Mr. RG3. I'm not saying that just because they're black or anything. Just they're both kind of like running type quarterbacks. Anyway, you know what I mean. Anyway, RG3. He's going to look to avenge that abysmal performance in Pittsburgh last week. Look for the Redskins to come out on top of that one. Detroit at Jacksonville. Jacksonville sucks. Detroit kind of sucks, but they beat my Eagles, so I'm going to pick them in a very humbling fashion here over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Buffalo at Houston. Who are we kidding? Houston is going to just open up a can of destruction, and then they're going to eat it. I don't even know what that means, but it sounds pretty vicious. Minnesota at Seattle. Minnesota, I think the run of hype is done for this team. I think, this is where Chicago starts running away with the division at this point. I see Seattle winning this one. Seattle plays really tough at home, especially when the refs are making calls for you against like a team like Green Bay. But anyway, that aside, look for Seattle to win this one. Tampa Bay at Oakland. Tampa Bay's playing much better football right now. Freeman's doing his thing, and Martin is quite possibly one of the most impressive rookies in the league right now. Look for Tampa to win this game. Pittsburgh at the New York Giants. This is another game that I thought was a pretty tough game to pick, but if it was in Pittsburgh, I'd be more inclined to lean towards Pittsburgh here. I see the Giants winning here. I see just the Giants extending that lead in the NFC East, and just basically, everyone else in the division going, oh well, better luck next year. It's November now. Time to start thinking about next year. Christ. Dallas at Atlanta. I gotta say to myself, well, if the Eagles were Dallas last week, would they have done much better? The answer is no. I don't think the game's going to be over by the first quarter, because I think Dallas is playing much better football than the Eagles right now. They're not going to shit the bed as bad as Philadelphia did last week. That's for damn sure. But Atlanta's going to win this game. It's at Atlanta. It's primetime television, so it's the late night game. So I think it's gonna be a pretty good game. It's gonna be a solid game to end the week, Sunday night, and ending. Oh boy. Who do we got on Monday Night Football? With the Philadelphia Eagles going to New Orleans to play the Saints. Now, Drew Brees didn't exactly light the world on fire last week against the Broncos. Okay, here's my prediction. If Nick Foles plays this game, the Eagles will win. If Michael Vick plays in this game, the Eagles will lose. I'll tell you what, if it ends up being like Vic comes in and then the second half Foles comes in, they win all except half a point. But if either guy comes in and loses, it'll count as a loss. I don't know, whatever. In other words, look for Drew Brees to win this game, because Andy Reid is going to start Michael Vick. Let's be realistic. He's not going to show. It's basically a vote of no confidence against himself if he has Nick Foles come in, because Vic was the quarterback he wanted. Vic is the quarterback they got re-signed to a big deal, and he's playing in the doldrums of the NFL right now. We can get bench quarterbacks that are playing better than Michael Vick. And we might have a better one on our bench right now in Philadelphia, but we'll never know. Anyway, and then there's always the injury factor. Vic is just, one or two hits away from getting injured for the entire season at any point, so it's just a real shit year. And like I can't even get into these these videos. Like my passion is like gone for these predictions. That and Crixus isn't here amping me up either. That's probably affecting it. But that aside, it is Halloween. It's gonna suck in a lot of these areas because there is still power out and poor little kids aren't gonna be trick or treating. Oh well, that's just more candy to give out here. Anyway, everyone have a safe and happy Halloween. To all you guys that bet on my games and make money, you're welcome. But I want my damn cut. I'm not fucking around. I want my cut. Do you see Mr. Creepers looking at you back there? You see how serious that face is? Do you want that at your front door asking for my money? Yeah, I didn't think so. Have a great day, everyone.